Okay, what's going on, family? We're back for another episode of Expanding Culture with Kilo. I have a special guest in the building today with me, entrepreneur extraordinaire, Miss Yolanda Owens. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing wonderful today.
That is great.
Wonderful.
That's great. Can let's just start with a quick intro of yourself. Who are you? Where you're from? What do you do? Hobbies?
Yes, well, I'm Yolanda Owens. My nickname is Yogi. Been Yogi ever since birth. From Atlanta, Georgia, from Adamsville, a little area called Adamsville in Southwest Atlanta. Went to Harper High School. I don't know if you heard of that. Um, my hobbies are gardening, hiking, and I just picked up a new hobby about 2 years ago, where I've been self-teaching myself bass guitar. So I've been
Nice.
enjoying that. But I am the founder of Iwi Fresh Farm to Skin Spa, which is located in Castleberry Hill in downtown Atlanta.
It's amazing. And I met you because I came to the spa. I had my services. My lady got me a Christmas gift. It was some good services. I chose the facial and the manicure. Wait, what? Yeah, manicure, pedicure, and a facial. My
Okay.
first time for a facial, so that was great. Your daughter actually took care of me on the manicure, pedicure.
Oh
Maya.
yeah. Maya
Yep.
is a jewel. She's wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
she actually has the same name as my daughter, same spelling.
Oh, really? Okay, I like that.
Yep.
Maya. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what is your professional background? I know you did something else before you got into gardening and
Yes, engineering was my background.
okay.
I did engineering, started off as electrical engineering and went into systems engineering. And then when I left corporate, I was network engineering. But yeah, the background was in IT and engineering. That was my profession. Worked for several Fortune 500 companies doing engineering. And I
Okay.
left corporate America to pursue my passion.
Okay.
So
I don't want to breeze past that because I feel that's
yeah,
very important.
yeah.
Um, I don't want to get I don't know if you want to say or if you can say, but like what era of America are we talking about when you were in this tech space in the
When you
engineering?
say what era of
I don't
America,
want to
like
get the
what
exact
time?
I don't want to say, what's your age. I can't say that. But I mean like
Oh.
what
So when I was in engineering, it was really in the late 90s, early 2000s.
okay.
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 Which was a very interesting time,
Mhm.
for Black female engineers. Anybody in IT as a Black woman at that time was some very interesting times. Yes, because
It's
it
still
wasn't,
interesting
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I
It
can
is still
imagine.
interesting, but it's a little better. We do have more Black women in STEM that are
Mhm.
moving through. During that time, we were there, but it wasn't. It was just kind of breaking through during that time. So there was a lot of challenges that I faced during that time.
Yeah.
Being a Black woman
Did
engineer.
did you want to talk about it? Because that was actually one of my questions. Like, how hard was it to navigate that landscape? Because the 90s was a lot different than right now. Some people probably don't even think about what a field might have been like before they got into it. I work in
Yeah.
tech now, and there's not even a lot of Black men or women in tech right now.
Hmm.
So I can't imagine what it was like in 90 anything, even the early 2000s, what it could have been like. So how hard was it? And what type of things might you have seen at that time?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is just the equalness of women and men. I think that I think still today and just by default, women just don't get the equal respect that they get, in corporate America. And then in IT, it just drills down to another level. So being into engineering and IT and being a woman, you really don't get the respect. So I know for me, it was a constant proving my worth, constant proving, my value and my intelligence, constant being challenged on how smart I am and if I'm smarter than them, smarter, and so you constantly, that's just a constant battle that you constantly having to do, which I don't even know if I want to say it's a battle, because really it just forces you to sharpen your skill even more. But it when you're there in the dynamics of it, it doesn't feel fair just because, you can see it blatantly that it's not being happening to your coworker or your counterpart. It's just you have to show up in a different way. You have to show up and do your best always. I mean,
Mm.
always. And then as a Black woman, you're challenged by, there was times where if the system crashed or the network crashed, and it was on my clock, it was very driven that I might have caused it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Just because it was under my watch and under my time. So you'll get blamed for things that you didn't do just because of who you are. Just because of
Right.
the trust level. So there was a lot of that.
That sucks. And I can imagine because I'm a programmer now, but before when I was in the military, I was in the Navy for a little bit. And,
Okay.
you know, I was in a tech field in the Navy and I was one of few Black people. And it's like you would get that, even in just random conversation where you might say something that to you was normal. And then one of the white counterparts might look at you like, oh, wow, that was actually smart. As if it's surprising to you
Oh yeah.
that I would
Yes.
say
Oh
something
yeah.
intelligent.
Yeah. 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 You got like, oh, that was smart. Like, wow, I can't believe that came out of you. Yeah.
Exactly. It's craziness. And I'm talking about 2008. So I can imagine, like I said, I can imagine what it was like, especially in the corporate world. It was probably, they don't have federal government guidelines that they got to follow. So they probably acted crazy.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, and it goes from the top all the way up to the top, but I end up moving to the top level. Like I end up being senior manager, director, and VP level, which end up being another challenge because I had engineers reporting to me, you know.
People don't want to listen to women.
And so, oh, they don't want to listen to women, and then don't be Black, and then don't be a Black woman that embraces your culture,
Mm.
like me. Like I think this time I had probably an afro. I was always embracing my culture, my heritage through my hair. So, that was another thing. I never did fit the norm. And I just always showed up as me. And I'm grateful that I did do that because I didn't sell myself. I didn't sell my soul to be a part of that group. I just always showed up. And I think that was where I got more respect because I showed up and I knew my stuff.
Mhm.
I
I
showed up
like
as
that.
I was.
I definitely wanted to make sure we touched on that because I want young Black women to know going into tech that people before you went through it, you might go through it. And if it's a good thing that you have found something that you believe in, that you love to do, gardening, and you have your business and everything like that. But don't let these people run you out of there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, more of us in the building now can help you and make sure that these things don't happen to each other. We can speak, especially like you said, you were unapologetically yourself. So hopefully, we can, now it's more, might be a little bit more of us, instead of there being one, there might be three in a building of 500, something like that. But just make sure we
Absolutely.
check
I
up
mean,
on each other.
yes, I'm with you on that. I'm glad you're having this platform because we really need to get that out. I spoke to some engineer scholars today, young students, and basically that's what I told them. I mean, the thing about engineering, what I've learned is that it's a foundation. It's a great foundation, and it can be applied to anything that you do because even me doing eWe Fresh, people say, "Oh, you did a 360." But really, I didn't. I'm still engineering. I'm just in a different industry.
Right.
So I'm engineer. I use all my engineering skills to engineer eWe Fresh, my spa. I mean, I'm constantly doing swim lanes, processes, systems, algorithms. That's how I build my business, because that's the mindset that I have as an engineer. So I'm still doing those same skills, but just doing it in a different industry. So engineering is a great skill to have. I think it's a great skill because it's applicable on anything that you use. It's a great foundation and it's
Yeah.
good
That's
organization.
great. And I'm gonna get into later some of the success that you've been able to have in a tough area and a tough market too. So we'll get into that a little bit later though. But how did you transition though? So what was the transition from lead? First of all, have you ever been in Black Enterprise Magazine? I feel like they should write articles about people like you. Have you ever been in
No,
there?
not yet. Not yet. It's coming.
Okay.
I was in the New York Times, but I haven't
Okay.
been in Black Enterprise. But I'm going to speak that into existence.
Yeah,
Yes.
because like I'm a big fan of Black Enterprise. You know, shout out to the Graves family, everything like that.
Yes. I love that. I love them too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like your story is just, I mean, it just makes sense. You fit
Yeah.
in
I'm
that.
on my way. It's going to happen.
Okay. So how
But
did you transition from?
when I was in corporate America, I was doing my engineering, very successful, doing really great. But there was something missing for me, like I was still like, there was this little thing, I was making great money, good job, just great. But I still was just not totally satisfied. I felt like I really was not doing my purpose, and so I struggled with that for a long time. I mean, it was really a struggle, a challenge for me that I kept self-doubting myself on really wanting to do something, but I kept, really was really stuck by a lot of beliefs that I had built inside of me, that I felt like, okay, I'm successful, I'm here, I should just stay doing this because I made, supposedly I made it to this poor part, but I wasn't satisfied with that. I wasn't. And so I just kept really, I had to really like break my old beliefs and really get true with myself. And I really, like I told the group this morning, I looked in the mirror and I asked myself, what is it that I'm afraid of? Like, what are you afraid of, Yolanda, to take this leap out into this entrepreneur land? And I think it was really just when I was true to myself about it, it was material things, house, car, all these things. And I was like, I can get that later. And so I just self-talked myself through that. And I decided that I'm going to step out. Now, before I stepped, when I was in corporate, I started eRefresh while I was in corporate America. I actually kind of stumbled across it because I was doing it because I was treating my son's eczema. And as I was treating my son's eczema, I reverted back to my grandma's home remedies when she treated my eczema when I was a little girl. And so I kind of went back to her recipes from her garden and then created my recipes to create my son Austin's eczema. And it just kind of got bigger and it grew. And then next thing you know, I've created eRefresh. And so I was literally an engineer and doing eRefresh on the side. Literally, I mean, I was like putting out fires with routers and switches and over here juicing carrots and mixing moisturizers, all at the same time. And I asked myself, do I, if I really wanted to go full time with eRefresh, I was going to have to like step out. I felt like I had to step out 100. I had to really just do it. And so I did. I turned in my resignation. I told my boss I'm leaving, and they actually countered offered me and asked me to stay. But I knew that this was my time, and I felt like felt so convicted in my heart that I had to go. You know how you ever had that moment, that feeling where that you
It's
just
time. It's
it's
time.
just time.
Yeah.
Yes, we've all had those feelings, and that was that feeling for me.
Yeah.
It's time.
That's amazing. Just for reference, and I don't know if you want to say it, but how much money would you say you would have needed to save up to make a jump like that out of working
Not as
to
much as you think you need.
okay.
I thought that I had it all planned in my head. I needed to make this amount of money. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do that. But when that voice came to me and said it was time, that was not the case. My bank account did not tell me that was time, but my spirit did. I had taken my 401k, which was really only about maybe 15K. And I took that and put it into and created my business. I mean, you don't really need as much as you think you need. I think mainly you need foundation. So you want to make sure that you're living below your means if you're making those jumps, that you're not living ahead, more than what you can afford.
Right.
So you have to downsize, I think, your way of living, and I think you need to make sure you have your foundation, which is more like your website, your basic, your business fundamentals, your business. And then now it's so much easier because you got social media, things are free. Things are free. It just takes I think it really just takes passion. It just takes it takes a lot of passion. You know, somebody asked me today when I was speaking to the students, the engineering group, they were like, so when you jumped, one of the guys asked me, he said, when you took that leap, he said, what made you not go back? And I said, great question. I said, really, it's up to you. It's up to you. I made a decision that when I took that leap of faith, that I was not going to look back as an option. Like I wasn't going back to corporate. I wasn't using that as an option. It was not an option for me. So because I was convicted on it not being an option, when times got hard, because it wasn't easy now, it wasn't easy. But I just said, I'm not going back. I'm just going to figure it out, come up with different solutions and work through it, but do not go back.
Yeah. What's your sign, if you don't mind me asking you?
I am a Taurus. I have a
Okay.
birthday coming up April 27th.
Okay. So that's why I'm getting the good energy, because I'm a Virgo, and Virgos and Tauruses, we mix well, you know.
Oh, yeah, we do. We do. I get
Yeah,
along
my
with
wife is a
Virgos very
Taurus.
well. Oh, your wife is a Taurus?
Mhm.
She's a May Taurus?
May Taurus, yep. Early May, yep.
Yes.
I got my Maya, my daughter, Taurus, my
Oh,
sister, my grandmother, my aunt. I have a lot of Tauruses in
You're just surrounded by Tauruses.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. So
Okay.
you've been taken care of then.
Okay. So can you explain what like for, let's just give the rundown of Iwi Fresh, because y'all got a cool business there. And I was a little bit like, oh, I get to mash some stuff together and all this good stuff. So can you explain what Iwi Fresh is? What can you do when you come to Iwi Fresh, all this good stuff?
Yes. So Iwi Fresh stands for, well, you know what it stands for because it's on your shirt. It is what it is. And because whatever it is, that's what it is. When I came up with that name, I was like, I wanted to create something that was true, that was real, that was authentic, that was what it was. And I was like, I can't name it. It is what it is. So what do I name it? So I gave it the acronym of IWI. And so I kept calling it IWI. And then when I was doing like shows and vendor shows, I would show up and display my products. People would come up and say, Iwi, Iwi. So I was like, okay, Iwi it is. So that's how it became Iwi, but it always meant it is what it is. And our logo means that we recycle from the earth back to your skin. And Iwi, what we do at Iwi, we partner with local farms and gardens here in the Atlanta area, where we handpick all of our fruits and vegetables and herbs. We bring them back to the spa where we juice them, we mix them, we dehydrate them, and we make skincare recipes. And then we take those recipes and apply them to our spa services. So you get things like veggie facials, like what you got, the veggie mani-pedi, and herbal massages. And then we have our DIY bar where you can mix and make your own products.
The interactive nature of that DIY bar is cool, because then you get to, because first all right, so let me tell the people real quick. You go to Iwi Fresh and they give you a tour. That's the first thing.
Yes.
Right? They walk you around, and it's not even that large of a place, but it feels like there's so much to do in there. Like it's just like there's stuff everywhere. You can buy plants, good, like you can see the plant right there. You can buy it. You can buy plants. You can make your own product that they use on your feet, right? You can make the product that they put on your feet just to do a scrub and everything. There's like charcoal there, turmeric, I think. There's just a lot of different things right there.
Yes.
At the DIY bar. Again, it's not that big of an area, but it feels like a lot though, because it's really I don't go to spas often, but I never did anything like that. Right.
Yeah.
So you make the thing. They have, back wall full of seats where you get your pedicures done. These big, they feel like thrones to me, got that area. Then, the manicure area, then across the way, facials, and I'm guessing massages, and you can buy t-shirts in there. Like there's just a lot going on in a relatively small area to me. At the one location, you have two locations. Can you talk about that second location you guys opened up?
So the second location is a wellness. It's a healing wellness space. Okay. And it's 6,000 square feet. And it's much bigger than the one in downtown, but it's more like a healing space in the community. Okay. So it's, I don't know if you've ever been to Jeju. A lot of people go to this place.
I've been to Jeju, yep.
So we call this the Fubu Jeju. Yeah. And so the Fubu Jeju is for us, by us, with us. It's right smack in the community. You come in, and when you walk into the double doors, that was my whole feel, was that to give these double doors, when you walk behind those double doors, you're feeling like you're in a whole nother space, a whole nother island. So it's full of plants, artwork on the wall. The lights are really dimmed and it's really cozy. It's a more zen space.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that space, you come in, you pay $50 for general admission. We give you your fresh fit. You change into a robe and shorts and t-shirts and some little grip socks. And you go into our locker room, change clothes, and then you can have access to our heated sauna, infrared sauna. We have a DIY body scrub where you can make your own scrub and then go into the shower with plants. It's like a rainforest shower and do a shower. We have a juice bar. We have a lot of subleases. So I have several subleases in there. We have a juice bar. We have waist beads. We have yoni steam. We have a multi-purpose room where you can do your own classes, like yoga classes. You can teach classes or attend classes. We have a Himalaya salt room, a plant therapy room. So kind of like a room full of just plants, and you can go in there and journal and meditate. We have a little area that we call the African Village, where you can sleep. We have meditation pods. We have a hammock. We do body scrubs, reflexology. We have Reiki, sound therapy. And it's really cool. And then on the third floor, we're partnered with another company called Kindred Healing Center, and they have a chiropractor and a acupuncturist and different type of modalities up there. Yeah.
That's amazing. Because I did, my wife and my mom, they like to go to Jeju. They used to, I say used to, because now we know about Eat Fresh, but right. They used to go to Jeju before the pandemic, like, periodically, because that was a good relaxation spot. But this was years ago. How long has that other
We just been open for about 2 years.
Okay, yeah. So it was before that.
Yeah.
But I would say the one time I went, though, it didn't give me the feel that I was looking for. It wasn't relaxing to me. It felt like a gymnasium that they just put a bunch of stuff in.
How about Jeju?
Jeju was probably too. I feel like, and this is not, I don't know another way to say it. This is not like a xenophobic type of thing, but I would rather be around like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we should be uncomfortable saying that. It's more comfortable to be around people you relate to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just a more home vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I needed more than to be in this large room, which is fine. They have good services there, but I just feel like I would have probably had a better, because I told, when I was telling your daughter, when she was doing my services, I told her, I've been to a place called Jeju before. It's a lot bigger, but this felt better to me than that. And I was at your smaller location.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is more for me than that big place was.
Absolutely. That was what the ideal for me. It came to me, a lot of my clients at Eat Fresh would come and they were like, well, we're going to Jeju later. Friends are coming to town. So I kept hearing Jeju. And then a lot of our clients would come to our smaller location and fall asleep and go to sleep. And I was like, you know what? It just came to me one day and I was like, we need to create something like Jeju, but on the south side of Atlanta for us and by us and the community. So that's when I ran into, somebody introduced me to the owner of the building, which is Ali, the Alis. It's Youssef and Omar Ali. They actually own the building. It used to be an old church and a school. So it's by two Muslim brothers, father and son, who own the building. And I reached out to them, looked at the place. And as soon as I looked at it, I was like, yep, this is it. So we went in, we renovated. And now the sanctuary side is a big event space, a beautiful high-end world-class event space right in the same building. So if you're looking for a great event space, that is the space. And then we brought in Black Coffee, the Black Coffee Company. So they're in there. So these brothers from LA came in and they got the best coffee and tea. And so they're in the building as well. And then we have another Black-owned food company called Love at First Bite. That's it. And they're coming in. They actually opening up, I think, in the month of April. So it's really a great community ecosystem that has been built in that whole building by Black-owned businesses right there in Lakewood, in the community of Lakewood.
That's nice. You know what's so weird? There's 2 Black Coffees. You have 2 locations by both of them. I've been following the Black Coffee by your Lakewood location. But when I
Yes.
left out of your spa, I was like, oh, this thing is right here. Let me just go here. Then I realized later, this is not the place that I'm familiar with. Okay, so I'm assuming you know both.
I do. I do. I mean, I knew the black coffee that's by Lakewood. I knew them way before because they actually reached out to me before they even moved to Atlanta, and they were doing black coffee in LA. And
Okay.
so they were like, "Hey, we've been following EB Fresh, and we heard about your location. We're interested in coming over to the Lakewood spot." And so they came over. We talked. Jamin and the whole crew talked with them, and they created it. I didn't know about the black coffee over by by EB Fresh. I
Right.
always only know about the black coffee at Lakewood. So, you know, hopefully they
That's
can
crazy.
figure, yeah, yeah.
I met because I met the Black Coffee, the Lakewood one. I met them at this Invest Fest that they had last August. They were there, so
Yeah.
they clearly established they got their own beans and
They've been
everything.
established for a very long time,
Yeah,
very long time. And they've been existing way before they even came to LA. I mean, to Atlanta,
yeah, I
and
could tell.
I was working with them because I signed my lease like in 2018. And so I was talking with them in 2019.
Mm,
So we've been talking, the that black coffee in Lakewood's been existing since 2019, before,
yeah,
well, they were before me, but I mean, that's the conversation we were having on bringing them there. So they've been around for a minute.
yeah. That was weird to me. I'm like, because
Yeah.
I was messaging with them and I said I'm gonna come by, but I went to the wrong one. So that
I
was
know it. And I think that's something that's been happening, and so, but it is what it is.
yeah.
But
Okay,
I've been knowing
okay,
Jamin and his wife and his crew. They're like family to me. And we built I'm so happy to have them as my neighbors over in Lakewood because we built some really great energy together. Yeah.
okay. Well, that's kind of gonna lead me into my next question about how you did it, because for anybody who doesn't understand Atlanta, Atlanta's real estate market is complete shark pool. It's craziness. It's hard to get anywhere. It's if you want to be somewhere, it's hard to get there. You pretty much got to settle every single time, pretty much, right? But the location that you have, the Nelson Street location, right, is in downtown Atlanta, like walking distance to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You
Mhm.
almost can't beat this location,
Yeah.
right? And you've been there for what, 15 years?
15 years. Was there way before the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Right. But at least the dome was
The
there.
dome was there. Yep.
Right. So you've been in prime real estate in a major city for this long. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like you plan on letting that go. And I wouldn't either if I were you. But
No.
how in the world have you survived the financial crisis
Whew.
in early 2010s or '08, all that time period. And now I would say now you beat gentrification. You've been able to withstand them buying up everything to build parking lots and all this other stuff for the stadium. Like, how did you maintain? Because I know it had to get
Yeah.
crazy at times.
Oh yeah, it's gotten crazy. It gets crazy, and it still gets crazy. um, I think again, just staying true to who you are, not wavering, being consistent. Knowing your worth, knowing your value. Being able to serve with passion and love. I think that's really what it is, and really, for me, giving my credit to the Most High. I can't take my credit. I can't take all the credit. I'm just a vessel. I'm just the one that has been given this task, this project. And so, Ewe Fresh, when I created it, it was always bigger than me, and it still is, And so I think, being able to create businesses that is bigger than you and that can serve the community and you stand in that proudly, I think you can't be moved when you have that mindset. You can't be moved,
That's
so
deep. That's
yeah.
deep. Because man, they were moving everybody out of that area, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I've seen it happen. We talk about gentrification. We think it's more on a residential area, but it's business gentrification as well. I
yeah.
mean, I see it happen. I deal with it on a daily basis, still today,
Wow. Wow.
it's still happening. It's still happening. So, it's real. It's real. It's real. It's truly real. And you gotta just really know who you are and stand true into it. I mean, I built eWeed technically from scratch, from scratch. And this is what it is. It takes a while. I think I tell people all the time, anybody can open a business, anybody can be a business owner, that's easy. But it takes a lot to build wealth and to build a brand, because that's really what stays true and stays anchored and leaves a legacy is when you build a brand. And the brand is not easy to build because you have to be consistent. You got to stay true to what it is. And you got to fight through so many things and storms and still stand strong. So,
And representation matters because eWeed Fresh, I'll just say it for you. I don't know if you planned on getting into it. eWeed Fresh is on Nelson Street, downtown Atlanta, right? Been there.
Yeah.
What year did you open? 07, 08?
Yep, somewhere around there. I think
Okay.
07.
07, 08. There's probably 5 or more other Black businesses that like move right next to you.
Yeah.
There's a shoe store. There's
Versus shoes. Yes. Let's give them a
Versus, you have
shout out.
there's a pet grooming store.
We got
there.
Purple Heart Pet Grooming that just
got
moved
Brooklyn
over
Tea
there.
that just opened up.
Brooklyn Tea, Carrie and Jamila, who's there. And then we got Crucial Cuts, Dennis, who's actually 2 doors down from me. Dennis and I was there right around the same time. Okay. Dennis actually was there probably a year before me.
Okay.
And so Dennis and I have been like really like the true anchors on that block. That block was a one-way street at one time. We seen lofts go up across the street. I mean, We've seen businesses come and go, Black-owned business. And then we got Salon Bougie.
Snob Mob is right around the corner from you too.
Snob Life is right there. We just got the New Orleans restaurant that's right there. We got a yoga studio that's Black-owned right there. And Peter Street, we got Off the Hook. Carl, who's at Off the Hook Barber, he has been there since the age of time. Okay. He is the papa of the Castleberry Hill. Carl Booker is. He's been there way before all of us on Peter Street. But Nelson Street is newly developed, and Crucial Cuts, Dennis and I have been there. We've kind of seen everybody come and go, businesses come and go, all type of stuff happening. But we're super happy with the new Black-owned businesses that just popped up, Brooklyn Tea and the pet store and Versus. We're excited to have them there. They full of energy. They're all excited. So we're excited to have them on our block. And then we got next door to eWeed, we got a Black brother who's franchising. What is it? The food place, the grits, the place. Oh my God, I can't believe I just went dead on this.
It's a restaurant. What's it called?
I can't. I'm like having a moment here.
Oh, okay.
It's they have it on 10th Street in Piedmont. They have grits and shrimp and grits, and it's a line that flops around. Flying Biscuit.
Oh, Flying Biscuit. Okay. I was gonna say
Flying Biscuit. Okay. So Flying Biscuit is gonna be on the corner of eWeed Fresh, and it's owned by a Black guy who's franchising it. So we're excited about that. And then we got Fellowship, Cam Newton, who's the cigar bar right around the corner there.
Oh, really? So, that's where his spot is at?
Yeah, he's been there for about some years now. About 3 years.
It's weird about that area because like I don't work too far from there, right? I go to Local Green sometimes. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh, Zach. Oh yeah, that's my boy.
I met Zach.
He's a Taurus too.
I'm trying to I got his phone number to get an interview with him, but he had to go down to Orlando. They're opening up a food truck at Disney. So that's great.
I know it. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah. Yes. But I was on that street, your street. I parked my car there just to sit and just take the city. I'm from a smaller city, so I like big cities. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Where you from?
Came down. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay.
Actually, cool. The lady who owns Snob Life is from my hometown.
Oh, how about that? Y'all homie. Now she's a Powerball too, boy. She's beasted out. Her business, she got great business savviness. Yes, I love her business model.
She's serious. But I just came and just parked. This was like a while ago. My company just moved there 2020. So I just came and just parked on that street and just sat there. I don't
Oh,
know. Something
wow.
brought me to that street. And I
Huh.
was like, dang, this is the same. Because after I was waiting on my services at your place, I walked around the block and I was like, oh, this is the same place. So yeah, that's amazing, man. I love that y'all are the anchor and a lot of other black businesses are feeling safe coming in there. They're like, oh, this is the
Oh,
spot.
yeah.
This is the place to
Oh,
be.
yeah. And we embrace them. We embrace them to
Yeah.
come in and we support them all the way. You know, Iwi Fresh, I don't know if you know, but Iwi Fresh is franchising. We're franchising our model. So our goal is to have Iwi Freshes all over the world. We're
Well,
excited about it.
that was my next question. Actually, I was going to ask, where do you want to be in 10 years? What's the goal for Iwi Fresh over the next 10 years? So franchise, is it next or is that just a longer term goal or is it next up?
You know, I think the next goal for Iwi, you know, franchising is a component of it. And then we also have a nonprofit called Green Skin Girls and Guys, where we teach foster care children how to take care of their skin naturally at an early age to build their self-esteem. So that's another component that we really give back to the youth. I think for Iwi is really building a world-class wellness company. You know, I think we're bigger than just a spa. You know, it's more of a sustainable self-care powerhouse that we're creating, you know, an empire that builds that sustainable self-care. I
Mhm.
think that's where we are. And so the franchise is one component of it. Just building education around it is really big, bringing in more type of education. Entrepreneurship, mentorship is another component of it. And workforce development is really big for us to be able to teach people in the community how to do these skill sets and allow them to get certified to do facials and manicures and pedicures and massages. So
Mhm.
really bringing that component in.
Yeah, that's amazing. How about products? I know you have some creams and are you going bigger with that?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. That's another piece. Our manufacturer, EB Fresh Farm Factory, is another piece that we're working on right now to take that more global. We got approved to go, we're in Whole Foods. So we're in about 6 local Whole Foods in Atlanta.
Well,
And so we got approved to go South Regional with Whole Foods. So we're working on our manufacturing and distribution model right now so that we can go into all the Whole Foods South Regional. And we're
uh,
working with Target. We're also working with Target as well. So yeah, we're on it. We're on it.
I mean, y'all got the perfect business, honestly. And y'all would be considered OGs in this space because it's real popular now, handmade soaps and all that type of stuff. It definitely wasn't 15 years ago.
It was not 15 years. It was not. So we have been staying true. I'm so glad because people wanted us to switch and go, you should do more acrylic in your spa. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm like, no, because then it wouldn't be Iwi Fresh. It wouldn't be
Right.
what it wouldn't be what it is. So we stayed true to it. And I'm so glad that we did because I mean, that's our belief, you know. Our goal is to and partner with farms too. The local farmers is a really big thing because we have so much food desert in our community. So really having a platform in that piece too, really working with these farmers and really being supportive.
I love what y'all doing. I say I'm glad I caught you like before, all the major because once the Breakfast Club have you up there, then I wouldn't have never got the,
Ah,
I know Earl Graves Jr. is about to be calling because this Whole Food stuff going on already and Target conversations and all. Because once you get in Target, people love Target.
Oh, I mean, tell you, I just finished the Target's Forward Founding program.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Oh my
Yeah,
God. I recommend every entrepreneur to try to enroll into that Target Forward Founding. It's bigger than Target. It's like they teach you everything about retail, manufacture, distribution. And it's not just about Target. It's actually not even really about Target. It's about really you positioning your company to go in that space, to be able to do mass retail.
because
Yeah.
that's a tough task when those big box companies call you and say, "Look, we got
Yeah.
300 stores in just this state alone or this region.
Yes.
We need you
You
to
gotta be
fill them.
ready.
Yeah, fill them up by August. Can you do it? You got this much real estate in the shelf. You got to figure out how to manufacture it cost effectively and make money at retail.
Absolutely. You
That's
got to be
tough.
ready. And I think a lot of companies, that's why we've got approved to go South Regional with Whole Foods. They've already approved us, our ingredients. We went through all the tests and we're in. We're in 6, but we can go more. But I'm like, we're not ready just yet. So we're trying to get our manufacturing and our distribution systems, in place before we say yes.
Wow.
So, and I
That's
think
amazing.
that's important for entrepreneurs to really know and understand that you got to be ready. So, just because it comes and it presents doesn't mean you got to take it, because then it can mess your brand up and you can crash and burn, so it can really set you back in a bad way. So you really just got to understand when you do have to say no sometimes.
I do like to ask, and I don't even know if you feel like answering it, but I just feel like I should ask. How do you feel about mergers and acquisitions? Somebody will come knocking. As soon as they see it on the shelf, they're going to come. Okay. How do you feel about it?
You know, I've been asked that question multiple times. Um, I don't know. I think that it could be good depending on the alignment. I think that it can't be always just about the money. It's
Right.
got to be the alignment of the integrity of your brand and what you stand for. For me, it's about that. It's about just really the alignment, because I wouldn't want to put all this work into the brand of Iwi and then I merge or acquisition with someone else that turns it into something totally different. I would want Iwi Fresh, if it's going to be an acquisition or merge that's going to elevate Iwi and keep Iwi to stay true to his brand, but make it bigger and massive and take it out, then I'm open to that.
Nice, nice. I will just say I was a big supporter of Sundial. I don't know if you're familiar with Sundial. They own Shea Moisture. They own, Heritage, the soap. And when they sold it, Unilever, that hurt me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because I was a big supporter. I would go into the local beauty supply store and buy 10 of these bars at $6 a piece. You know what I'm saying? That was my
So
stuff.
what happened? And that's I'm glad you brought that up. So when you said you were hurt by it, did it change the product?
It's crazy. It actually doesn't seem like it changed, honestly. So it wasn't, I think it was so much more of I knew that company was so big, they could have competed with what they had, you know what I'm saying? Because currently we don't have any massive Black owned, beauty, health and beauty companies, because they get to a certain point and somebody throws $1 billion because they were huge. Like, this is a $1 billion company. Shea Moisture is everywhere now. It's in every Walmart, is everywhere.
Yeah.
They were huge, and I felt like they had the most shot to be able to keep the company. You know what I mean?
Because I feel what you're saying. It's more of I get it, really staying true to this, having a Black owned company that can grow into that level.
Right.
Like
we
that.
had one, and there's more can come up. You got Carol's Daughter. I don't even know if Carol's Daughters might have sold too. A lot of them actually sold around that same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man,
I feel what you're saying, and I get it, and you never know until you get to that point. But for me, I would say I don't see Iwi Fresh, I don't know. I just, I'm so in love with Iwi and it's my baby. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I'm open to release it, but I'm like you, I would love to see it released and just get bigger and build its own empire within itself,
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, and let me make sure I say this right, because I'm not knocking him for selling, because I've never even fathomed being in a position where somebody's throwing you $1 billion for something you built from scratch. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different thing right there.
Yeah, because when you're in that position, you just,
Because it's hard to just turn down certain things, especially if they let you keep your model in place where.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we don't know all the dynamics behind it. And it sounds like you said, they stayed true to the product. So the product was still there. So maybe that was part of it, was like, we'll take it, but we want to keep our integrity of our product. Years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Dick Gregory. And he came into Iwi Fresh and we talked, and he told me, he looked me in the eyes and he told me, he's like, listen, he said, you got something great, big, major. He said, do not sell it. Do not let the other people, I ain't gonna say the words he said, because Dick Gregory was raw with it, okay? He said, do not let them take this from you. He did say that to me. And I always remember what Dick Gregory said to me. He said that to me. It was so clear. So I always hear his words in the back of my head as Iwi grows and gets bigger.
Yeah, Dick Gregory is a good person. Good
Yeah.
dude. And he talks straight to it. Like, I wish I could have met him.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't mean to,
No,
put that
but
out
I
there.
mean, it's
But I
good. We
did, but I did
dialoguing.
that sundial thing. I was like, man, we had one. But we got more though. And Iwi Fresh
Yes.
going the brick and mortar route is real smart, because we really don't have, there's not even, I feel like there's not even a whole lot of like good non-Black owned spas out there like that.
That's toxin free. That's
Right.
toxin free. That's
Definitely
really
not
raw.
natural, green,
Yeah.
good fit. So I feel like that
Yeah.
market is, that's one where you could kind of dominate it once you start
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So we just need people. We have a information session April 24th at 6:30 Eastern time. It's going to be a Zoom call, and we will have a live at the spa downtown. So just stay tuned, follow us on Instagram, get our notifications, our Facebook, so you can get the Zoom link when it comes out, so that you can have some opportunity to be a person to own a franchise, be a franchisee of Iwi Fresh.
It's going to be amazing. Do y'all have a target location y'all would like to see one pop up first?
No, I don't. I'm just excited to see where the first one's going to pop up, I'm excited. We can go all over. We can go anywhere. So not just Atlanta.
I feel like New York City is already primed for a business like this. Like, that's perfect.
I was going to say New York, because when we do our demographics and our analytics, we have most of our people in Atlanta and New York. Yeah,
I can see that.
Huge following in New York. Yeah.
New York is already just built for that type of vibe, because they do a lot of natural, because they have a lot of people from the islands and Africa out there. They already vibe with the natural.
I think we have so many cities. We have a young lady who's interested in Seattle. I think Seattle, California. I think Colorado. I just feel like we can do well in a lot of places.
Yeah,
I think we can do well, creating that sustainable self-care just all over the world.
I'll tell you who needs this business the most: Las Vegas, because there's no green in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Like, they need Iwi Fresh like now. They need a massive one. They need a 7,000 square foot.
Hopefully, you got a listener that is in Las Vegas that's listening, that is interested in being an Iwi Fresh franchisee. That would be awesome.
They definitely need some trees and plants out there. All right. Well, you already pretty much answered. So I'll say, where can they find you? What's the name of the Instagram, the website? Where can they find you?
You can find us at iwifresh.com. That's our website. And that's IWI Fresh. And that is our same social media handles everywhere: our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. It's all iwifresh.com. So, check us out.
I appreciate you for doing this with me. Also, dang, you guys had some Tiny Desk concerts.
Oh, my dog.
Oh, he didn't like that. Brought up Tiny Desk.
Somebody was outside. I think a package got dropped on the front porch.
You guys had some Tiny Desk concerts at your place. Yes. I heard Ari Lennox was one of them.
Yes, we had Ari Lennox show up. Oh my God, and her energy was amazing. She did a Grammys performance, like she did a pre-recording Grammys thing with MasterCard at our spot. Then she came back and did a Tiny Desk, black and white with I can't think of the guy's name, but she did this whole thing, Tiny Desk. And then hopefully, and I think we may have, I don't know if you know Baby Rose. Mm-hmm. But she's an artist here in Atlanta, just doing some amazing things. So she's looking at doing some video with us at the locations, at both locations. So
that's amazing.
Yes. That's amazing. And then we got an event this Wednesday night. Come and check us out. Tomorrow night at the Oasis. Doors open at 7:30, but we're doing Peace and Music Fest. I'm working with a young lady. Her name is Lola, and we're collaborating, and we're going to have acoustic vibes in our space. So come and check us out.
Yeah. You said the Oasis. Okay, so like
the Oasis location, at doors open at 7:30. It's just $10 a ticket. You can buy them online, or you can buy them at the door.
I appreciate that. Oh, thanks again for joining me, man. You got such a great story. Your business is amazing. I love the business now. I love seeing people apply knowledge from seemingly other fields into different spaces, but really it all connects though.
It all connects. All right.
I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, please.
All righty. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.